Welcome back everyone to my channel, Notorious here, and you're watching the fourth round of the Road to Glory Haas series. And in this episode we are going to be heading over towards Spain, a circuit that is a bit more standard, that we should have more experience on, and for hopefully try to perform a bit better. As we are now going to be heading into the very end of my first push lap with 4 minutes to go, 7 tenths up on my previous attempt on the soft tires, and we are going to be crossing the line and we are going to end up in P14. So currently as it stands we are in Q2. We try a second push lap on the same tires, and as you see we are not even close. We are 3 tenths down and it's not looking that good, but we are still P14, and as it stands currently, we would be heading over to the next round and trying qualify a bit higher. Last couple of corners, this annoying chicane that everybody hates around Spain. Everybody loves the old setup. But the final bit here, and we are gonna cross the line. P15. I think you saw it change there in the last second, but we are gonna get confirmation here. P16, at less than a tenth away from Q2, our very first Q2 appearance.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Perez, Charles Leclerc and Norris, Sainz, Ricciardo, Gasly and Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Vettel, Esteban Ocon and Stroll, Ellis, Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi, Giovinazzi, they've taken a grid penalty, and George Russell ends our grid lineup. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
So here we go then. P15 is our start, and we have Stroll and Ocon ahead of us. Lights out and away we go. Quite a decent amount of wheel spin on the mediums as we attempt the alternate strategy. Heading down into turn 1, and Schumacher and Raikkonen has taken position from us. But we are gonna find a bit of space on the outside and the grip there, and find an overtake back on our teammate as we head into turn 4, and we're gonna try the same moves as we did in career mode, if you have seen that episode at Spain, where I DNF quite spectacularly on the first lap after a fight with Raikkonen. But in this series we managed to go fine. We stick close to the pack. We're not losing that much ground. Raikkonen has a little bit of a moment as he heads over the bump after turn 10, I think that is. Last chicane and the last corner of the very first lap. Bottas sets the fastest record as he is leading the Grand Prix, and we are chasing down Raikkonen. Now, an important thing about the first lap of these races is that the AI usually drains their battery in the first lap. So you have a higher chance of overtaking on the second one, as you can see right here. Still taking the corner the exact same way as in the first lap, but this time they don't have the battery to fight back. So we re-overtake, and we are now back into P15. And Ocon is ahead in the Alpine. And I would see this as a great result if we just manage to fight a bit with them. and see if we can stick to them, because they are quite a bit higher up in the
Some information on Giovinazzi. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
in the constructor standings, as Giovinazzi has some kind of issue. So if we can keep pace with an Alpine, with all the small little upgrades that the team has been getting us, then we get closer and closer to scoring our first point. Bottas puts in another fastest lap, as he is pulling away a bit from Hamilton
DRS
in
will be
P2.
enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Still very close to the Alpine car. We are all on the medium tires in this train, and we are looking at probably the same strategy. We are quite a bit closer now to actually overtaking him. Maybe with DRS we can get the extra few meters to make a lunge at him and see what happens. But us, Ocon, Tsunoda, and I think that is an Aston Martin ahead of us, of Stroll, I think, they are quite close. And he is even close to Vettel. And normally, 3-4 laps into it, the leaders are quite a bit away, but they are now just entering and exiting the chicane, and we are right here. So with a standard track, or a track I'm more experienced on, rather than Imola and Portimao, as we get our first track warning, we have an easier time keeping up with the cars, as we get to use DRS there for the first time. But skipping here to lap 8, we are very close to Ocon once again, but Bottas is behind us. He has pitted early on the softs, and he is looking to power his way back.
5.4 seconds.
Very close to Ocon into turn 1, and maybe now we might have a look on him, as he is very slow in this corner, and we're not even using battery yet. Now we are, and we managed to send it down the inside. We are still wheel to wheel with Ocon into this corner right here, and he hits us, but we are still wheel to wheel. I was ahead into that corner, and now we are gonna finally close the door on him. We have overtaken an Alpine on pure pace, which is quite the achievement, actually, when you think about it. It's a Haas, for fuck's sakes. But lap 10 now, Bottas right behind us, and there's no point ego fighting with a Mercedes car. We just let that go and be happy. Ocon had to pit after that. The damage to his front wing, unfortunate, but I was ahead. He just wanted to send it down the inside. And now we have lap 12, another faster car. Our engine provider is looking to take back its place, as briefly we were running in the points before Bottas and now Leclerc overtakes us. So the alternate strategy is working pretty well for us, but now we start seeing the issues of running high downforce in order to make the car turn as we head into the pits. Our straight line speed is very, very low, and without battery usage we struggle so much getting over 300 kph. And the other cars, they are quite a bit faster than us, so it's hard to make up time.
Exit now. You'll be racing as you leave the pits. Go, go, go.
We go for the hard tires, as there is 18 laps to go, and softs on this car was never gonna survive that. But Ocon is back ahead of us, and we had a long fight with Ocon, over 10 laps, and now he is back.
No threat of rain
So
for
the
the time
undercut
being.
for him
Conditions looking good. Dry seem like the
worked,
fastest
and
tyre
now
at the
it's
moment.
time to try to re-overtake him, finishing above him in the standings. Even if we both don't score points, is also a good sign for us. But you are gonna pay attention now to the straight line speed when we reach 8th
Yellow
gear,
flag.
as we have a yellow ahead.
Be aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Fernando
Caution,
Alonso
the virtual
has
safety
crashed.
car has just been deployed due to a buildup of debris on the track.
The virtual safety car, and then
We've been informed that due to the increasing risks, they're moving from a virtual to a full safety car.
we get a full safety car. And probably a message any moment of the delta speed.
Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Yep. Alonso crashed out, and we are behind Ocon on freshly pitted tires. But look at Ricardo here, as I try to go on the outside, giving him space, and he just hits me going over the curb, and that actually gives him a 5-second penalty. Very, very weird for the AI to do that, especially as he had more than enough space. Trying to put some heat into the rears by just revving it in low gears, and we are soon gonna be going back to racing.
Okay, the incident has been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed.
Ricardo being in lower positions than he should be. He's gonna pull away from us quite fast, as we have a little fight there with Raikkonen in the Alfa Romeo. So far in this series we have actually been quite competitive with the Alfas
The gap to the
and
car ahead
the
is
Williams.
2.0 seconds.
And if we get maybe 1-2 upgrades more, and we start maybe scoring a point, we might see some more upgrades coming into the team. But there goes Gasly overtaking. Now we have already made our only pit stop, and we are actually running in P12, P11 there for a brief moment on pace, and we are not gonna pit again if we could control it. So now it's just about, can we stick with Gasly, and will something happen to the cars ahead? Lap 23. Ricardo has pulled away massively, and we have lost DRS on Gasly, and Russell is looking for a fight. And they are actually getting the fight, even my teammate, because I am not getting above 300 kph on the main straight. I have so much drag, it's not actually letting me get to Formula 1 speeds. I have to deploy my battery on the straight just to be defensive, it seems. So Russell is gonna overtake us. That Mercedes engine in the back of his car is helping him out massively here. Especially as you can see the Mercedes of Bottas, I think that is, in the last chicane on the track map there.
Caution, caution.
We have something that has happened here after turn 11, and that is Ricardo having a little spin into the grass.
The track is clear. Green flag.
And now we are back to P12, and ahead of us is a car that we should be able to overtake on pace, were it not for our little issue here on the main straight. As you can see, battery was deployed there, and we are still 291 kph. We have to defend a little bit from our own teammate. We re-overtake him on the inside of turn 1 and 2. And Spain is actually quite difficult to overtake normally. Lap 26, same deal here with
Try to stay
Giovinazzi
with him, he might make a
and
mistake.
Schumacher.
He could still regain the position.
We have just no speed in our car. And here we go. As you can see, in the areas where we need downforce, we are faster. It's just on the straights. We have a little tap on Schumacher as he brakes way too much. And on the inside now, we lunge and we accidentally hit him a bit. Stupid overtake from me. In hindsight, I should have waited until this DRS zone up here. That's a mistake on my end. So if Schumacher in this universe were to compare to Gunther, I would be at fault. At lap 31, we are holding P13, and being on the alternate strategy, we have the Aston Martin of Vettel behind us, and as we don't have any straight line speed, he's just gonna overtake us, and we are gonna finish this race in P14. Still a decent result for us, but probably with a less downforce setup we could have made a point.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
A real team effort which has paid off in spades. A great victory here at the Spanish Grand Prix. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
But there's no question in my mind, it has to go to George Russell. What a performance. He's got every right to be proud of what he accomplished out there today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. Another team that excelled today was Williams, who make further progress up the table. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
So that's gonna be us behind a point still to the Williams, and the Alpha has finished higher than us. I think they have managed a P11 so far, but that's something we're gonna try and do something about. Next race is Monaco.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them
And
with
we
us
have
for
some
the
new
next Grand
parts,
Prix.
but don't expect anything. It's Monaco after all. That's it for this episode. See you next time. Peace.